top of the morning to ya. I'm Liam the Leprechaun, and I've got a wee secret to share. ZJZDesigns.com has just unveiled their brand new St. Patrick's Day apparel. Featuring yours truly, of course. From cheeky tees to lucky prints, these designs are brimming with charm and plenty of gold. Whether you're heading to a parade or just feeling the Irish spirit, you look grand in these threads. So what are you waiting for? Skip the rainbow and head straight to ZJZDesigns.com. You'll find the pot of gold in your cart. No magic required. ZJZDesigns.com, where style is always in season.
The All About Nothing podcast may have language and content
that isn't appropriate for some.
Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome, Nothingers, to the All About Nothing podcast. This is episode number 289. I am Barrett Gruber, joined by Zach King. Zach, how was your first week of 2026? Not the world, but you specifically.
Oh, tiring. As you know, work in benefits, just have employees that didn't do what they were supposed to do going like, what happened?
Yeah.
And, you know, federal law, the IRS has lockdowns on you changing anything from plan choices to savings accounts. So turning people away at the door and going like, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of that. It's been swamped.
That's frustrating. Yeah, my week.
It's not bad.
My week's been pretty good. I had the girls this week, so it was good. I think besides that, one of the things that we did do was they started back to school. They started back into their school, and they did well this week with their studying and quizzes. So I feel like I may have accomplished something with that. I also this week we replaced some rotting wood on the front porch, which is necessary. Did make the decision to replace it with composite, so won't have to replace that in the lifetime of my living in this house.
No. When the aliens come and blow us all away, that composite will still be there in the archaeological record.
With the cockroaches crawling underneath it. Exactly.
I do have a 1 out of 2 babies is crawling now.
Wow. Gosh.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just looked down yesterday and I was like, whoa, that baby just crawled over here.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah,
so
we're coming up on
the giant playpen went up.
They're coming up on their 1 year birthdays here soon. But are you all planning a celebration for 1 year? Is this going to be a big event or? Okay. All right.
First birthday is always the biggest one, right? You're like, oh, kept you alive.
Yeah, I think, what is it? First, 13, 16, 18, and that's all the ones I plan on living through, really, if I'm being honest. That's it.
Oh, hey, what was the last number you mentioned?
18.
Jesus Christ.
Please subscribe and share the show.
I lost my dad at 30 and it wasn't enough.
I understand. Please subscribe and share the show. That's how we get new listeners. Also, please consider supporting the show financially by visiting theallaboutnothing.com, becoming an official member, and proudly calling yourself a true nothinger. We'll have more details on that at the end of the show. If you can't do that, please give us a 5-star review, a like, and follow us across all the social media. You can find links at theallaboutnothing.com. I want to thank Brian Mays for being on the show last week. Had a good conversation with him. I thought what's going on with the Jackson Leadership Academy, I think they are on a path to really accomplishing something, and I hope that they have all of the success as well. I think our kind of daily shows that I do there with Bill Kimler, host of Black, White, and Blue in the South, have been going pretty well. We've seen a decent amount of engagement with the social medias when we're broadcasting those live. So if you haven't seen it, we actually do it an hour earlier now because Barrett's fucking old and not getting younger.
You were doing it at 9 and now you're doing it at 8.
Yeah, so now it's at 8. So that means that I can go to bed at my normal hour rather than breezing through that 9:30 and then
What year is it? It's 9:30 for me. Don't worry, that's what Bill does too. I'm sure his wife has to tap him on the shoulder and walk him to bed.
Here's the thing. Kimmler is up at all hours of the because I'll go to bed at 10 and I'll still see him on Facebook. And then I'll wake up before 4:30 and I'll see that fucker on Facebook. And it's like, Hey, I did want to ask you, are there any podcasts that you've picked up recently that you've been listening to that we could give a shout out to? Because I have one that I thought was fantastic, but I'm going to let you go first. Age Before Beauty.
Mm-hmm. No new podcasts. I'm on book 6 of 8 of Dungeon Crawler Carl.
Oh, okay.
And like the books are like 40 hours long. So,
oh yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I have been listening to a podcast called The Necessary Conversation. And it is two liberal children of parents. Chad and his sister do a podcast with their two MAGA parents, their mother and their father.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's interesting to listen to them have pseudo conversations about politics and things like that and their reaction. And it really just gives you a good sense or an idea of when you are in that MAGAverse, just how entrenched you are and how easy it is for them to believe whatever it's put in front of them.
It's the dad is like a piece of work,
man.
And the mom hasn't had an original thought in her own head. I can't. She could easily, if the dad wasn't there, the kids could persuade her to dump it. That's what I feel.
Yeah, for me, it's not about wanting them to be persuaded into or the mother being persuaded, but just to acknowledge that maybe what she sees in her news feeds or on her Facebook or wherever it is that she's reading or looking at the news, to question maybe the perspective or what it is that she's in. I don't know. I see it from the liberal side as well, because there are plenty of people I know that I agree with on a lot of the issues, but it's the way they go about communicating it, or the way that the anger that they seem to have about whatever it is, and that's one of those things that I just don't understand why we're still so far away from each other, when the reality is that it's not, neither party is really benefiting anyone right now. Even when the Democrats were in office, there were things that they could have done. When Biden had both houses of Congress, there were things that they could have been a little bit more aggressive with to make permanent. And one of those things was in 2023, he absolutely should have nominated and increased the size of the Supreme Court and made it a more equal court. And then as justices retired, they could have not replaced them. So I don't know what to do. It's a weird world.
Yeah, I mean, especially with those parents, I'm sure there's a lot of people who deal with that. And when I was saying the mom could be persuaded if the dad wasn't in the picture, that's not a great thing either. But then it goes back to my original point that I don't think that she's really had an original thought that's her own. Like,
sure.
Sit there and view it and think of it for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That one's crazy.
But yeah, check. If you haven't checked it out yet, the Necessary Conversation is out there on all of the
their TikTok
podcast platforms. Yeah. Their TikTok and Instagrams and Facebook Reels they get intense.
The sister's a baker.
Yeah, she's a baker down in Austin, Texas, I think.
They look like they had some good snacks, I will call them, pastries.
Yeah. Hey, you guys already were affected by this. I know your family went through a bout with the flu earlier last year. One of our listeners reached out and asked if we had been tracking this, and it wasn't something that I had seen in the news. But it seems as though there is a near epidemic of the flu this year going around, and it has something to do apparently with the fact that the CDC did not successfully match up the flu vaccine to the flu that would be out this year.
The variant of it?
Yeah, the subclade K variant. This is the part that's really scary, is the strain that's dominant right now is called influenza A H3N2 subclade K. And this is the kicker. It's a mismatch. Over 91% of the cases that are being tested right now, this is a new version that wasn't fully covered by this year's flu shot. So even people who are testing, so even the people who did the right thing and got their flu shot, are basically still ending up in the ER because it doesn't match the flu that's going around.
Well, if you don't believe in evolution, here it is. This viruses that evolve and adapt to still infect you, and you have to have these new vaccines. And this administration, especially with RFK psycho whack job at the helm, and he's trying to make it where you have to go to your doctor to get it instead of just going through a CVS and stuff, which is stupid.
It's insane.
Yeah, I quit putting locks and chains on people who are trying to further the vaccine process, and so we can have vaccines for this.
Yeah.
And you're talking about they didn't put out the right one. I wonder what the story behind that is. Was it you just didn't know? Like they didn't have a plan for it or what,
They are estimating that we've already hit 15 million illnesses, and we're only just into winter.
What was the influenza numbers? Like what counts as worse than the flu? The Spanish flu with the 1800?
Well, that's not deaths. This is just people that are getting sick.
Oh, people
influenza. I think the Spanish flu killed like 1 million people.
Okay.
In 17, 16, something like that. Over 180,000 hospitalizations just since October. So that's 74 and 7,400 deaths from the flu since October.
And I knew you were talking about people infected, but I was still wondering what that infection number was back then. But
yeah. Well, I don't. I'd have to look that up. But I think the Spanish
when you
flu,
go pandemic, that one has its own name, right? So have we gotten more?
Yeah. Well, and a pandemic means that it's. I think so. For it to be an endemic is for it to be or an epidemic or whatever. I think that it has to cross a certain threshold before it becomes a pandemic. Yeah.
Have you ever had the flu?
I'm sure I've had the flu before, but I get my flu vaccine every year. I got mine early October, but I got it with the latest variant upgrade to the COVID shot, which I did the same thing last year. And then by the time I had my annual visit with my wellness visit with my doctor, which is coming up this week, they said that there was already another COVID upgrade shot. So I'll probably wind up getting another COVID shot. And if they are using the correct flu vaccine now, then I'll probably wind up getting another flu vaccine.
I've never had the flu and I've never had COVID.
Yeah.
I got norovirus and that was
never had the flu. I feel like I've probably had the flu at least a few times, but I don't really know. I don't know. I bounce even when I'm sick, like congestion and headaches and chills and heat and sweating and whatnot. I feel like that's usually just like a cold or a virus.
Yeah.
Not sure.
I might be one of those people that it doesn't affect me, but I could still carry it. Like my daughter had the flu. She tested positive for the flu. She didn't have so much as a cough or a fever or nothing, but she was still. So it might have just been. It might be that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's entirely possible. They're calling it the shadow epidemic. This latest flu variant. News cycle really is kind of just maxed out on everything else going on, and it's not being discussed. But hospitals are at 100% capacity. My mother described to me that my brother was supposed to have an appointment this week, that they canceled the appointment because there is no room at Emory Hospital for an appointment. And this is apparently something that's going on all over the country. Hospitals are just completely filled up with patients that are testing positive for the flu and having these symptoms. So my suggestion is that if you go out, we know what we're supposed to do in order to potentially keep from passing sicknesses or getting sick. The idea, and it's completely voluntary, of course, but my suggestion is if you go to the grocery store, fucking wear a mask. It protects you. It protects people that could potentially, honestly, at the very base of the suggestion, if you're not feeling well, don't go out. We have options,
And if your kids are sick, don't send them to people's houses and don't send them to school.
Yeah. It's not like back in the day when we had chicken pox. Like I remember going to the Kowalskis down the street because we found out that the Kowalski kids had chicken pox, and we went down the street. There's a good possibility my parents would probably deny that happened, but it's one of those few memories that I still have in my head of that happening. So
I am old enough too that there was no. I don't.
Yeah.
Is it an inoculation? Was that what you would call it for chickenpox, or is it just a vaccine for chickenpox?
It's a vaccine. Yeah, It's a vaccine.
Like I had chickenpox as a kid, and then I remember 3-4 years later when my brother and sister were born, they had the vaccine and never got chickenpox. I remember sitting back going like, "Well, fuck that. They should go do that too."
Here's the thing that scares me about chickenpox is its relation to
Shingle?
could eventually give you shingles.
Yeah.
And the shingles is like, now there's a shingles vaccine.
Yeah.
And I don't know that I've gotten it. I may have. I'm going to check with my doctor. I have an appointment this week.
I'm going to do that too, because shingles does not sound fun.
No, I've had friends that have gotten shingles, and my father had shingles.
Sounds disgusting.
It's uncomfortable, but like it's when it starts to approach, like for one of my friends, it got very close to her eyes, and they had to work very hard to make sure that it didn't get to her eyes because it potentially could have blinded her.
That's awful.
Yeah, that's scary.
Shingles sounds like scurvy.
Except a little lemon juice here and there, orange juice or whatever, scurvy.
Yeah. but naming it's got shingles and scurvy.
Her. It's the pirates. It's the pirate's disease. It's like gout.
Pirate's disease. They're like, what's wrong with Bill? His teeth are falling out. No, he's got scurvy.
He got a case of the scurvs. It's kind of like gout. It seems like these are two things that are easily avoidable, but for some reason we still have people that are like, oh, I'm out from work for the next 6 weeks because I got the gout. It's like, oh, that sounds miserable. Why would you do that to yourself?
I got scurvy. My teeth are loose.
Not allowed to go by the bordello. I've got the scurvy.
I bet RFK has had fucking scurvy.
He has. I saw
scurvy from a blue whale.
You brought up RFK Jr., which I guess we kind of brought him up during the CDC thing and the flu. But I saw a comedian talking about RFK Jr. and he's I think Kimmler sent me the video, but he was like, what would have been great is if RFK Jr. during his run for presidency, if he had just because one of the creepiest things is the voice, and he said what would have been great is if he had just gone and then just spoke normal. Like, what if he's been holding on clearing his throat for the last 50 years?
You gotta let that go.
He'd be president right now.
And I got this voice from scurvy. Yeah. Did you see when his phone went off? Because he forgot to silence it during that press conference, and it was a quack. It was quack, quack,
yeah.
quack, quack.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a fitting fucking ringtone.
If who was the guy that used to do the Aflac voice? He died.
Wait,
he
what?
was he was the voice of Igaldo and from Aladdin, the parrot, and he was the voice of
that's a
you know what I'm talking about.
My name is yes.
Yeah. But
oh my God, Barrett, why would?
Yeah, Zach's going to look that up because, while you're looking that up, because it's going to come back real quick. But Zach, you only have 27 days, 17 hours as of this recording to do the Bluebeard thing. Time is running out.
I want to stick my plug all the way in your electrical outlet. God,
It's the voice of the bird from Aladdin.
the fact that we don't know his name is insane.
And I think it points out just how long ago he passed away, right? Because I know as soon as you say it, I'm gonna know it. Like it's gonna hit like a ton of bricks, and I'm gonna be embarrassed that I couldn't remember because it's right there on the tip of my tongue. Because like I can see him. He was a very funny comedian. You got it.
Yeah, it starts with a G.
Good. Greg, Gary. Nope, you're gonna have to give it to me.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Gilbert Gottfried.
Oh, I'm so mad that I didn't, because I even did a voiceover as Gilbert Gottfried for this podcast.
Yeah. When did he pass away? It was
right before Bob Saget did, I think.
Oh, okay, so it was in the 20 teens.
Yeah, let's see
something
when
like
he
that.
died.
God, when did Bob Saget pass?
When did Gilbert Gottfried die?
This feels like an inappropriate
2022.
Oh, so it was more recent than that. Okay, all right. Well, rest in whatever comes after this. Gilbert Gottfried, the voice of the Aflac duck. He's sitting. His ghost is listening to this, going, "I cannot believe." You'd have to do the voice. Cannot believe those two fuckers couldn't remember my name.
Couldn't remember my name. You pieces of shit. His comedy was so good, but so raunchy too.
Yeah, but Bob Saget was a blue comic before.
Oh yeah,
he did Full House, and I've worked in radio with guys that were extremely blue DJs, like very, very like I worked with Moby when he was in Dallas. He was a rock star radio disc jockey, and then when he moved to Atlanta, all of a sudden he played the role of this very right-wing conservative law enforcement, whatever sort of.
Well, we're not thinking about the same Moby.
No, you're thinking of the DJ Moby. I'm thinking of Moby in the Morning, the DJ.
Okay. I had no idea who your Moby was.
Moby James Carney, the DJ from radio, could have easily fit 3 or 4 Moby, the music producer DJ in, like Moby was a big guy. Moby, the music producer DJ, very little guy. He's like I would potentially confuse Moby and Pitbull if given the opportunity.
All I know is Eminem didn't like him, and neither do I.
Okay, fair enough. All right. I guess we'll move into the next subject, which is probably the most difficult to talk about because it is what is current. Before we do that, I'll say this. It was really, really cool and a fantastic experience seeing the venerable monks walking through West Columbia, Lexington, and Columbia yesterday. It was 8:00 in the morning. I pulled up the map and saw where they were and figured, you know what, I'll just go ahead and head out because we were going to go try and see them in West Columbia near the dog park. But I was more concerned about like traffic being an issue and trying to get to a spot. So decided that early Saturday morning, about 7:00, I went over and stood on a street corner that already had like 7-8 people at it. And sure enough, they came walking past. And, it was it wasn't like it was like it was a parade.
Yeah.
And my reaction to most parades is, I don't know. I'm not much in favor of parades, but this was a really cool experience. And
I've made my opinion on parades very well known.
Same as a circus. But it was a really cool experience. And, I am fairly cynical about things and such, just based on experience, life experience, whatever. But this was one of those experiences where it was like when you saw their faces and you saw their smiles and you looked at their feet, and to recognize that they had already traversed whatever the mileage is between Fort Worth, Texas, and that spot on Laurel and Highway 1 and Augusta Highway, that distance is immense. And it takes 2 days to travel that by car if you're taking a stop and a rest. But they've walked it. And it was, the message of peace is one that, I wish was more, I don't know. I wish that it was more likely to catch on. But the time that they're doing it in right now, where that message needs to be expressed more often, and there were a ton of people in Colombia, man, like the photos and videos from Colombia, like walking across the Gervais Street Bridge, there must have been 10,000 people out there, maybe more. I'm sure we'll get numbers at some point, but amazing.
I'll tell you this about the whole thing. Cool, do your thing. I could take it or leave it. I do not care about it. Cool. Peace is, if you're going to do something for peace, I support you in doing it. I saw the most unhinged Christian post about it.
Oh Lord.
This dude took his son down there to watch it, right? And he's like, I wanted to show him that even if something is done in the name of good, without God, it's not actually good. And I was just like, you're the fucking problem, right? Like,
yeah.
Something that was completely harmless isn't your religion, so you came down there to show your son that it's actually not good. Because it wasn't in the name of Christianity.
Why put forth the effort for that? Like, it's not like these monks are evil. They weren't carrying firearms. They weren't carrying weapons. They weren't carrying drugs, right?
In Christianity, absolutely does not have the rights to what is good and what is not.
Right. Shit, we turned the pilgrimage into the Crusades, and the Crusades was basically about taking land and taking property and taking, wealth. Like that was the whole point,
Yeah. So everybody fighting over the Muslims took it from the Jews, then the Crusaders came in and were like, no, I don't think we'll have that too. Genocide is in here, so you don't get to say what's good. Like you just don't have the whole rights to that.
I was listening to Love It or Leave It, and I can't remember which comedian made the comment, but he said he's a Jew. He's not a Netanyahu Jew. He's just a Jew.
Yeah, he's an ethnic Jew, not a religious Jew.
Yeah,
Orthodox.
So we do have to talk about the two realities that are happening right now with this event, the murder, in my opinion, a murder.
It is a murder
of Renee Good in Minneapolis, Minnesota. You've got President Trump on one side and Secretary Noem on that side, calling Renee Good a domestic terrorist and a stalker. But then you watch the video of you see Renee Good in her maroon Honda Pilot, literally stuffed with stuffed animals, little dolls and things like that, trying to, what looks like from every angle of the videos that I have seen, trying to get out of their way. And then at the moment where they started to engage with her in what seemed like a very aggressive way, she pulled back. She went in reverse to try and give herself room away from the officers, turned the wheel all the way to the right to get away from them. And
she waved them on.
Yeah, she waved them on. She said, "I'm not mad at you."
Yeah, she said, "I'm not even mad at you, dude." Yeah, like in no way was she escalating anything.
Didn't feel like it. But what we have now is a president who ultimately, if there were a federal investigation into this shooting death, that it is highly likely that he would pardon. He may already have a pardon ready for this Jonathan Ross, I think was his name, which sounds like a comedian. I may have his name wrong. You know what? Fuck it. I don't care. I don't need to have his name right. But you have this individual who is an ICE agent, a federal ICE agent. ICE stands for Immigration Customs Enforcement. That is not law enforcement. The fact that we're doing, or our federal government is doing these raids on neighborhoods that have a specific ethnicity percentage does not also feel like enforcement. It feels like engagement. It is not domestic terrorism to protest. It is not domestic terrorism to be dropping your child off, I guess, at home after school. It isn't domestic terrorism to engage with ICE agents. I will say that my preference would be to not provoke them, because it's clear that their training does not include any sort of rules of engagement in respect to, law enforcement. And we've had Sheriff Lott on, and it's one of the things that I wish that we had discussed, as far as like, what are the rules of engagement for law enforcement?
What's your SOP is what is important, because even in Iraq and stuff like that, they weren't allowed to just open fire on even dude, like a Humvee charging at you. You had your SOP you had to go through. No, they're just killing American citizens right here and right now in front of you.
Yeah.
And if that keeps happening, guess what's going to happen? Anytime ICE tries to get somebody, that civilian has every right to just turn on them.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's like the Gestapo. They would just come kill you for no reason.
I think that's the thing, because clearly, I mean, looking at Renee Good, she was a self-proclaimed poet. Aren't all poets self-proclaimed?
Yeah. It's up to everyone else to decide if you really are.
Yeah. But you had this woman who had done several charitable things in her recent life, including like went to New York to meet or talk with homeless solutions. She was obviously engaged in being at least a progressive voice. I think she had a following in social media of some of the things that she had done, as far as videos of ICE and some of the protests and such. So this was someone, but there was no police record. She didn't have any incidents on her record that would have given anyone the impression that she was some sort of provocateur. Her wife, so she left behind 3 children. Her wife, these are people that obviously cared about her, and an entire neighborhood of people that now, it brings a lot of anger towards ICE agents, potential other federal agents. Obviously, the FBI and ICE right now are currently not working in any way, shape, or form to do a thorough investigation. They are withholding the state of Minnesota, both the county, the city of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the state as a whole. They are keeping them away from any of the materials or information that would allow for the state to potentially prosecute a crime, or even determine if a crime was committed. And our law enforcement groups are completely dependent on the partnerships that they have with other law enforcement groups in order to find justice. And the federal government's completely blocking any potential of that.
Well, No Illusions had a great quote, and it was, they continue to lick the boots even when they're covered in blood. And I thought that was perfectly apropos for it. I saw Jesse Ventura showed up
Yeah.
to the Roosevelt High School, I think it is, that closed their doors because the ICE kept snatching staff members and kids out of school when they were released. And he said it right. He's like, as a proud graduate of Roosevelt High, he came in with his, and he's like, this is not America. You cannot arrest someone without a warrant. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Tell me how the Gestapo is different.
It's not.
It's just not.
No.
It's not.
I am not afraid of ICE for me, but I have neighbors. I have Dominican neighbors on one side. I've got Chinese neighbors. I've got Vietnamese neighbors. I have Pakistani neighbors. I have Indian neighbors, and I have Puerto Rican neighbors, blacks. I mean, I live in an extremely diverse neighborhood, and I think that there is, just based on conversation and what I see people's behavior in my neighborhood kind of changing, because Lexington County has a partnership with immigration customs enforcement.
I think everyone should be afraid.
Yeah.
White, black, foreign, not. They would take you or me and stamp us and ship us off to Venezuela and say, yeah, they're not from here. Fuck that.
I mean, I think it's entirely possible that, and it's not just about targeting ethnicities or colors. Now it's moving into, obviously, it's moving into a scenario where the people that are against this regime are going to be the targets. And ICE is going to move from being this customs and immigration enforcement to a Gestapo secret police. Why the fuck are they still covering their faces? Like,
that feels illegal.
It does. Like, police officers can't cover their faces. They have badge numbers that are publicly identifiable. If you get pulled over by a police officer and they're covering their face, they're not a police officer. They are not doing what is their standard operating procedure. And
it has to be, the people that they're getting in ICE have to be like Gravy Seals and stuff. You go on Twitter, they have advertisements, and I clicked on it to see like what are they asking of these people. It's like a $75,000 signing bonus. And we should go through it. I can't remember all of it. We should go through it. Find that Christy Nomad saying join ICE now. That just putting it on Twitter or X, for one, you're getting the worst of the worst, right?
Yeah.
You're getting the Proud Boys, you're getting the Gravy Seals, you get the tough guys who never served in any form of the military who think they know everything about it. Dudes who would be wearing stolen valor if ICE wasn't hiring right now. And now they're in there thinking they're hard as fuck and have no idea how the procedures are supposed to work, when your life would truly be in danger. And they're just pulling over brown people, and they're super entitled. We all saw that video of that guy who worked for ICE who got pulled over on his way to vacation, and he was drunk and had kids in the car and was telling the police officer, where are you from? Where are you from? Dominican Republic? Where are you from?
Right.
It's that kind of person that you're hiring for ICE.
Yeah.
It's insane. I think when the next administration comes in, you have to gut that whole department. If not, shut it down and form a whole brand new department.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Completely agree. And we get a new administration in there that is more common sense driven. I think every single person involved in this, all the way up to the Secretary of Defense, Kristi Noem, and then across the board, because you see J.D. Vance making comments about or encouraging the propaganda of the right wing, saying that, this officer was in danger for his life, and that, Trump said that he got run over by the car and had to be taken to the hospital, which clearly is not the case. Now, I'm not saying he didn't go to the hospital after the fact, but what we see in the video is an officer, I keep using the wrong word. We see an agent of ICE step out of the way of the vehicle, fires 3 shots, 1 through the windshield and then 2 through the driver's side window, and shot her in the face. Like, police officers, law enforcement don't shoot people in the face. Like,
walked away from a murder scene, for one. Walked away, and then they wouldn't let on-site physician check on her.
Right.
Just let her bleed out in the fucking car.
Took 15 minutes for an ambulance to actually arrive, and then it was delayed, I think, by a road barricade by the immigration customs enforcement. So it's like they did everything they could potentially do to hamper. Like, she was dead, and again, I cannot stress this enough. Shot her in the face. Like, there will not be an open casket funeral for this woman. Shot her in the face.
Shot in the vehicle, 3 times? And then hit her directly in the face.
Yeah.
And there's people saying, play dumb games, win dumb prizes. What the fuck are you talking about? I heard a podcast, and I got to get their name. They put it perfectly. All the conspiratorial shit, the right, like Alex Jones, for instance, that he projected that, there is a really shady people that are pedophiles running the government now. It's fucking Donald Trump and his administration.
Right.
There is a secret police snatching people off the fucking streets, and he calls it a nothing burger. All that crazy shit you were talking about is happening from the right, and now you just see no evil.
You put on your blinders and you go about the business of selling, supplements or whatever.
Yeah, they put it like Alex Jones has to be a Greek fucking tragedy. That everything he said is happening. That everyone's like, you're crazy, is happening, and now he's like, nah.
Homer's sitting up there with Zeus right now, going, "Fuck! I wish I'd written about this. I'd have sold millions."
Yeah, fucking idiot.
I made a comment about how I've read 1984 again, and the similarities between what Orwell wrote about and what we're seeing now are disturbingly close. I mean, you switch out the food pyramid or whatever with the sugar, or there's so many things about it right now that it's almost parallel to what we're seeing with Trump and his administration. He literally said in one of his True Social posts, I'm going to paraphrase, but he did say essentially that his morality is the only thing that governs that's stopping him from doing more bullshit.
To Cuba.
Yeah.
You had Lindsey Graham on there licking that thing up to his ass crack on Air Force One. Did you see that?
Yeah.
He's like, what you did. Oh, that was so great. And now Cuba's not stable. It's like, shut the fuck up, Lindsey Graham. If there's anybody who needed to be slapped across the fucking face, it's that bootlicking bitch. He has got to get the fuck out of here too. I'm glad you saw that. And then he's talking about the only thing that could stop me is my morality. When I read it, I thought it said mortality. And I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
He knows. Yeah. The only thing stopping him from doing worse things is his own morality.
So nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. To go through the history of Donald Trump and recognizing his morality, you have to look back into the 70s when he was trying to get Congress to push to close Native American casinos because some of them didn't look, I'm going to just air quotes, Indian.
Yeah.
That he and his father, through their rentals, would not rent to black people because it brought down the value of their properties. This is a man that put out a full-page ad in a newspaper about arresting the Central Park Five, even though they were completely absolved through DNA testing and witness statements and things like that of having committed any crime. Now, I'd have to go back and research and look. I don't remember if they went to jail, if they were released from jail because of evidence later. But Donald Trump was wrong about the Central Park Five. He lied about in a book that he had written about Osama bin Laden. It's not true. It's not in the book. I mean, he did write about Osama bin Laden, but it wasn't about the United States government going after him because he was a terrorist or anything like that. He didn't have foresight in that. He didn't see a bunch of Arab Americans on their rooftops at 9/11 cheering the fall of the Twin Towers in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't win the popular vote in 2016. He didn't win the popular vote or the Electoral College in 2020. I mean, I'll give it to him. He won in 2024. If there is data or any information out there that indicates that it was that there was some shenanigans that went on with the election, fine. I'm willing to look at it, but I need to understand where the data comes from and how it's being gathered. But he won in 2024. I will give it to you. I will not be an election denier. And what concerns me about even the idea of having an opinion that contradicts him winning and becoming an election denier is the whole basis of the MAGA movement from 2020 until now. Like that's the one leg they stand on over and over and over, is that Trump won the 2020 election and they deny the results. So I don't want to put myself in the same category until there's actual legitimate
finally
evidence.
They counted right, and finally they didn't have those fake ballots.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I've even heard Democrats recently that said that they think we should go back to paper ballots and have them hand counted rather than using machines. And ultimately, if that's the best way to add security that's necessary to keep the potential of having elections be played with, then whatever the cost is, I think having extreme election security is fine with me. I don't see the necessity of having mail-in ballots be eliminated. I don't see the necessity of having absentee ballots or overseas ballots. I don't think that those need to be taken away just because somebody thinks that you could get a hold. The idea that someone could get a hold of your absentee or mail-in ballot is logistically ridiculous. The idea that you're going to be sitting on a street watching the mailman or driving behind the mailman, or maybe you've had some sort, but you're talking about having to plan something out so perfectly to get a hold of somebody's ballot.
And it's a lot of work.
That's
so much work. That's what you get from crazy and dumb come together, and here's their plan. They deserve to have a greased up Mike Lindell running through the fucking White House.
Could we bring back tar and feathering? Could that be part of once we get an administration federally that recognizes the balance of power between the legislative, the judicial, and the executive, that we return. Also,
that does kill you though, but
I don't care if they're a Republican or a Democrat at this point. I just want an administration that recognizes the balance of power.
Yeah, Mike Johnson, you're tarred and feathered.
Tar and feather Mike Johnson.
Stephen Miller, you're tarred and feathered.
Oh, 2 or 3 times.
Tarred and feathered.
Yeah.
The list goes on. We would have a bunch of sticky chickens walking around.
It has been a very significant weekend in respect to the scale of the number of protests of ICE across the country. More than 1,000 cities saw. Oh, actually, before we even move to that, I wanted to bring up Minneapolis Mayor Frey during his press conference.
Drop the F-bomb.
I watched this live, and when he told ICE to get the fuck out, that was broadcast live. And every local news station in Minneapolis, local news stations around the country, CBS, Fox News, NBC, MS Now, CNN, they all broadcast this. And I want to say, I think that using the word fuck on national television, regardless of the time and audience, is acceptable.
I think we need to adopt the British way. You can say anything on their TV, really.
Yeah.
As long as it's not slanderous towards the crown.
Queen.
Yeah.
The king. Yeah, exactly. I'm fine with that. That. We can set the same rule. Even for Donald Trump, I will just say you cannot use the word fuck in respect to the president. Even though I want to. No, I'm just saying. Yeah, all right.
No, I'm
fair
not
enough. That's fair.
I want it all. I want my cake and I want to eat it.
That's fair. So lots of 1,000, more than 1,000 cities around the country saw the ICE Out for Good rallies this weekend, and it wasn't just the usual suspects. Omaha, Knoxville, Philadelphia, they had these. There was footage, and I don't know how this happened, but I saw footage on, I guess it may have been TikTok, but it was footage of Amish people protesting ICE. That there were Amish people in the crowd. I'm assuming they're legit. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. These were legitimately Amish people in Ohio and in Pennsylvania, and not just people dressed up as though they were Amish. I'm going to give them
How
the
did
benefit
they
of the
find
doubt.
out how it's going on? Because it wasn't TV or radio.
Great question. No
They-
idea. They read
yeah,
the newspaper.
Oh,
Hey.
fuck. They drive in their car. They just shot that lady. Go, Ishmael. Yeah.
The key talking points are: why did Renee's death specifically trigger 1,000 events? Like why is it that this one woman, her death, her murder, has triggered something? And here's something I don't think a lot of people understood. Minnesota is really a hotbed of this sort of situation happening. I don't think it's because of either the city administration of Minnesota, Minneapolis, St. Paul. I don't think it's because Tim Walz is some sort of absent governor. I think he's very much a very active governor. But I think that Minnesota itself is targeted specifically by Donald Trump and his administration because of the diversity of the people that live there. You have a very large Somalian population. You have a very large Black population. This is a very liberal, progressive area. It's voted Democrat since like 76 in the elections. And I think that that's something that stands out to Trump and his administration, is something that they see as a vulnerability for themselves, and they are targeting Minnesota. This is the same location. It's within like a mile or 2 miles from where George Floyd was murdered. You know, and I think that, I'm hoping that this revitalizes the 50-51 movement, and we see more protests.
Yeah.
I think I saw a statistic that said more than 3 million people participated in protests over the weekend,
Wow.
which, we're recording this on Sunday, and there are more protests scheduled today.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I'm with you. Crazy.
So we keep hearing agitator with respect to Renee Good. Was she an agitator? I don't. In my mind, I can't respectfully, out of respect for her, I can't call her an agitator. That would be like me honking my horn at ICE agents that I see terrorizing someone, or me filming them. That to me doesn't reach the level of agitator. Was she engaged in a whatever with the ICE agents? Yeah, I acknowledge that. But it didn't reach the level of being an agitator. It feels like, based on the video and everything, that Renee Good was murdered. And we had what is basically an executive level murder. And that's, I don't know how anyone can look at what happened and see something different.
If it was a civilian, he'd be in jail right now.
Yeah. Like, where do we protect ourselves from ICE at this point? Because they aren't deputized law enforcement. They aren't hired by a city as police officers. They are employees of Department of Homeland Security that is enforcing an idea that the administration has created, and or this. It's 2026 better take a U-turn quick, because we're
Yeah.
we're going down a very dark road, and whether you are a Democrat or a Republican, we need to recognize that there are things that need to change immediately, because if it doesn't change, if something doesn't happen to make this flip itself on its head, we're going to reach a point of no return. And I don't know. I don't know how to prevent it. I will say that I think that it's going to have to fall on the governors and the state law enforcements, regardless of your attachment to Donald Trump and how much you love Donald Trump or what he's doing or whatever. You all are in office because people elected you, and you represent those people, not just a subsect of those people, but all of the people of your state. And we are all threatened now. So anyway,
I'm with you.
Well, I guess on that bombshell, we'll wrap it up. Zach, tough week.
Tough week.
We'll make it through the next one, and next week we'll try and make it better. Right? That's what we'll do. We'll try. That's all we can do. Zach cries into his hat. It's going to do it for episode number 289. We're getting close to 300 episodes, Zach. Now, we've already surpassed 300 episodes, because between our bonus shows and daily shows, kind of daily shows and all that, we're almost to 500 episodes. We're getting really close, which is insane. But appreciate you being here this morning. Links to all of our past episodes, podcast platforms, merchandise, and social media are available on our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com. And if you think our financial model of giving away free content and entertainment is silly and you're in the giving mood, why not become an official Nothinger and support the show? Members get early access to this episode as well as exclusive content. You can visit members.theallaboutnothing.com, or you can find a link on our webpage. You can also give us a one-time donation through the same link. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can call and leave us a message, 803-672-0533. You can email the show at theallaboutnothing.com, or you can join our Discord server, links found on our webpage. For everyone at home, thank you very much for listening, everyone. You all stay safe, be kind, and
keep your hands to yourself. That includes you, Ice. Jesus Christ.
The All About Nothing podcast is a product of Big Media and produced and engineered by me, Barrett Gruber. Thanks to Cake for our intro music, Sick of You. You can follow Everything Cake the band at cakemusic.com. Thanks to Muff the producer for our outro music. You can follow Muff on Instagram at Muff the producer. You can follow me across social media by visiting Linktree/Barrett Gruber. And you can follow Zach King on Linktree/AAN Zach. Want to support the show? Visit our webpage, theallaboutnothing.com, and become a member. There are several tiers available that give you early access to episodes as well as exclusive content. To find links to our social media, podcast platforms, and merchandise to support the show, as well as past episodes, visit theallaboutnothing.com. If you'd like to be a part of the show, you can email the show at theallaboutnothing.com, or you can call our number and leave a message. Dial 803-672-0533. If the time between these episodes is more than you can handle, check out our sister shows. What the Pod Was That with Carrie, Zach, and myself. Welcome to Wonderland with Ami. Politically Speaking with Erica, Kirsten, and Emily. And Black, White, and Blue in the South with Dr. Jamil Brooks and Bill Kimmler. Please subscribe and share this show. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe and punch that notification bell. Thank you for listening, and hear us next week. The preceding podcast is solely owned by the host or hosts and is distributed by Big Media, LLC. Copyright 2026.